you don't need to be somebody extraordinary to go out and do something different, something unusual. So we're going to be talking about what's probably the biggest pursuit we've ever been involved in, going around the world by human power. And I was really quite surprised to learn a few years ago that nobody had ever done it before. People have gone to the highest mountains, the peaks, to the poles. People have also circled the world by any kind of transportation you can think of, helicopter, sailboat, airplane, you name it, except that most basic mode of transportation, human power. No sails, no motors, and of course that would include crossing the oceans.
When people first hear about our adventures, and especially the adventure that we're going to tell you about today, which includes rowing across the Atlantic Ocean, we spent 5 months rowing across the Atlantic Ocean. The first question they usually ask isn't, what was it like to survive a hurricane, or what did you do when the great white shark circled your boat, but how did you survive each other?
You know, often when you're taking on a big challenge, or just doing something different than you normally do, you always get people saying, you can't do it, you shouldn't do it. You in particular don't have what it takes. And it seemed kind of strange in a way, to be going in one direction as hard as you possibly can for 2 years, just going. And suddenly you're back where you began. In a way, it feels like you've been nowhere. But on the other hand, of course, you've been everywhere. You've been to all these places that you never imagined you would travel to. You've met all these amazing people that have helped you along the way. And of course, pushed yourself beyond what you thought was possible. And people often ask, what is the most important thing that you've brought out of this journey? And I think undoubtedly it's just the importance of baby steps. I mean, if you think about a journey around the world, it's huge, huge. Never once could I fully conceptualize everything that was involved in doing it. Of course, the concept is simple, but thinking about all the details was impossible. And it felt overwhelming at times, but we could focus on what we had to do for the next day or for the next hour. You break down camp, you pedal for another 120 kilometers or another few oar strokes. Those hours add up, those days add up, and eventually those steps added up, and we achieved our dream of being the first to go around the world by human power and rowing across the Atlantic Ocean.